This is part one of fantasy football takeaways from the first half of the NFL season. Kyler Murray and Justin Fields are way better fantasy football players than they actually are in real life football players. Most of the older running backs in fantasy football just aren't worth rostering, especially when there's so much talent coming in from the draft. Guys like Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, and Dalvin Cook have been pretty disappointing this year. Cooper Kupp and Austin Eckler should have been the top 2 picks this season. It's hard to say that in hindsight since JT was the pretty obvious 101 or 102, but it just goes to show that having the 101 is probably the worst draft pick that you can have. Somehow, someway, Tua has raised Tyreek Hill's floor and ceiling. I did not think he would get a fantasy football quarterback upgrade going to Miami. Tyler Lockett remains the most underrated fantasy football asset. Somehow he's a top 10 wide receiver right now. Terry McLaurin just isn't as good as everybody thought he was. He's currently getting outproduced by Curtis Samuel. Darren Waller had no business going in the first 8 rounds of your fantasy football drafts, and I hope you listened to me when I told you to fade him. And make sure you're following me for all fantasy football content. And the final takeaway from the first half of the season is that wide receivers are becoming more valuable than running backs.